engaging the community since 1970. This is WIS Awareness.
Good morning, and thanks for joining me on Awareness on this Sunday. Hope you're having a great day. We're going to be talking with the principal of Eau Claire High School in Richland County, the Richland 1 School District. That is Miss Nashunda Walters, talking about the new school year and everything happening with that normally, and of course COVID-19 on top of it. So going to go ahead and bring her in and say good morning. How are you, Nashunda?
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me.
Just to begin here, I want to ask you, so you guys have been in school now for a couple of weeks. You went back August 19th in Richland 1, and your district was one that had a few options for parents and students. So tell me how things have been going so far this school year.
With our restart plan, we were in phase 1 of our restart plan, which involves all of our students doing e-learning. And with the e-learning, students are at home. Some teachers have also opted to work from home, and we've had to make the adjustment. So instead of being here on campus and being able to provide instruction and support here on campus, we're doing everything remotely. This is a very unique year, very unique experience. We've not ever started school in this way before, so we've had to make lots of adjustments, make sure the campus are safe. When we do have students come on campus, they're safe. And to make sure the students and teachers are equipped with the things that they need in order to be productive and have a great start to the year. So it's had its own set of challenges, but I think we have been doing what was necessary over the summer to prepare for this month, for this year.
Right. Talk about that, the preparation. Did your staff, did your students feel prepared for what you guys would have to be dealing with this school year?
I think so. I think our district has done a lot over the course of school, the summer, last spring, to start talking about a potential e-learning start. We started having these conversations last spring about potentially starting in an e-learning environment. And I think we were waiting all summer long to figure out what was going to happen. But we were planning for both. We were planning as if we were coming back on campus, and we were also planning as if we were in an e-learning environment. They were able to, our district leadership was able to provide us with playbooks, resources from experts in the field who were looking at the science and telling us what needed to happen in order for us to have a safe and productive time if we were on campus. We have a few folks who are working out of the building now, and it looks very different based on the resources that we received from the district and their guidelines for a safe and productive time on campus. The biggest concern I would say our staff has had has been the technology. We weren't as interactive last spring, and now using the Microsoft Teams platform to meet just like we were in school, every period, every day, activities, conversations with students, interactions, lessons, is all new. And our teachers had to grow accustomed to the learning platform. We're not using Zoom or anything else. We're using Microsoft Teams, and that was a learning curve. So we have spent the first week and a half of school really familiarizing students, teachers, everybody with that platform, because this is going to be how we submit assignments, how we deliver instruction, how we do projects. We actually just had a class meeting via Microsoft Teams for our seniors. So all of the events that we're going to be doing are going to be around the technology. But I think with the training that our district set up for our teachers and administrators over the summer on Microsoft Teams helped us be prepared for day one. We have been working together as a school. We have meetings every morning to talk about what's working and what's not working. And that's our opportunity to work with the kids, work out the bugs, so we'll be able to help each other progress throughout the school year. I think we're prepared. I haven't gotten any complaints from any students, any staff members or parents about things that they don't have and things that they need. The only complaint is, when am I coming back to school?
Right. Yeah, a lot of kids do want to be back in school and have that normal routine back in place. Is there anything that has actually been maybe easier than you thought it would be with this process? Because of course, technology has been incorporated into schools and instruction now for some time, but never, relying 100% on it to do virtual learning like this. But with the experience you've had up until this point with technology in schools, has anything been easier than you thought it was going to be?
Yes and no. I think with our students, they have learned how to interact with teachers online, and our teachers have learned how to gain feedback. We use the chat feature quite a bit to gauge the temperature of how the instruction is going. When I was a classroom teacher, I could look around my classroom to see their faces, to see whether or not they get it. But now teachers are having to get feedback from students, sometimes using emojis in the chat just to see how they're receiving the information. So I'm pleasantly surprised at the teacher-student interaction. That's going much better than I thought. We have been able to pop in and out of classrooms doing virtual classroom observations. Been pleased with the level of interaction that we've seen. So that's been easier than I thought it was going to be.
You talked about, students just asking, when can we come back to school? How important have you been able to gauge that is to your students there at Eau Claire, being back in the building and having that routine back in place?
Well, I think that they want normalcy and they want things to be like they were. Right now in our world things are not going to be like they were for quite some time. So we're trying to do lots of things that they had been doing, but in online format, in social distancing, in ways that are very unique. Athletics started back. And so that is going to look very different. So trying to keep some normalcy so that they don't miss being on campus as much. I think the missing is really the interaction with each other.
Yeah.
We really don't have venues for that right yet.
Right. Okay. Let's have a quick break right there. We'll be right back here on Awareness with Nashunda Walters, principal of Eau Claire High School in Richland 1.
In a recent Twitter post, Jamie Harrison said Republicans don't care if you're evicted from your home. But as a high-paid Washington lobbyist, Harrison didn't care his client had foreclosed on the homes of Hurricane Katrina victims. And he didn't care they foreclosed on the homes of 130 families in South Carolina. What did Harrison care about? Himself. Democrat Jamie Harrison, high-paid, liberal, lobbyist. Wrong for South Carolina.
I'm Lindsey Graham, and I approve this message.
Hello, I'm William Shatner, and you may not know this about me, but years ago, I was diagnosed with a sleep disorder. And like millions of others, I was prescribed sleep equipment. Did you know sleep equipment manufacturers recommend daily cleaning? That's why I use SoClean 2. It's the perfect complement to my daily routine, and it's hassle-free. SoClean 2 is fast and easy. It keeps my sleep equipment fresh every day without the need for disassembly. To keep the immune system strong, we should do everything we can to ensure a good night's sleep, including using the SoClean 2 daily to keep sleep equipment fresh. Try SoClean 2 risk-free for 30 nights. Order now and get $70 off. SoClean 2 is so fast and gives you peace of mind that your sleep equipment is fresh each time you use it. Call the number on your screen or go to SoClean2.com to take advantage of this risk-free trial and get $70 off. Call now.
Endurance wants to get you back on the road again, America. Even if you're driving less right now or your car is sitting idle, you need protection. Cars are more prone to mechanical issues when they sit unused for long periods of time, so don't get caught paying thousands for auto repairs. Every Endurance plan gets you 24-hour roadside assistance, and we pay your certified mechanic directly. Call us today for a limited-time relief program to make sure you're protected on the road and off. Call 855-267-8096.
And welcome back this morning, joined by Nashunda Walters, principal of Eau Claire High School in Columbia in the Richland 1 school district. Nashunda, we were just talking about how, the students, the kids miss interaction with their friends and their teachers and just the normalcy and routine that being in school provides. How are you all looking out for your students' social and emotional well-being during this whole process? And I know that's probably challenging, not interacting in person and virtually, but what are some ways you're able to do that?
Their mental health and well-being is a great concern to us because high school age teenage students are very social beings. They're accustomed to interactions with their peers, with their teachers. So a lot of what we've had to do differently instructionally is purposeful interactions with students during the class period. Teachers have been directed to make sure they're checking in personally with students during the class hour, making sure you're talking to students, engaging students, interacting, creating lessons that are interactive, but also purposefully embedding social emotional lessons into the curriculum, because there are students who were in difficult situations, mental health wise, went out for the break and for the pandemic, and things have become even more critical and them. Our social worker and I have been trying to get out to homes to do some Monday morning motivation, taking breakfast out, and hopefully we'll be able to keep that going all year long. But trying to keep the level of engagement high and making sure teachers are embedding social emotional learning into their daily interactions with students.
From an educator's standpoint, really kind of just drive home just how important the social and emotional education and well-being of a child is when you're talking about, educating the whole child, just how big of a part of the equation that is.
Well, there is a saying that's been going around social media since the beginning of the quarantine. You can't bloom before you Maslow. And that really talks about us not being able to provide for students' needs prior to us actually teaching them. So if we can't help them where they are as far as their needs, their emotional needs, their social needs, determining what it is that's bothering them, what's hindering them, you're not going to be able to get them to be productive when you are trying to do a project, trying to get them to write a paper. We have to know where they are mentally in order to be able to work with them. So a lot of that, like I said before, involves interaction, involves talking, involves developing relationships, creating bonds with students that let them know that they can have conversations with the teacher, administrator, social worker, counselor about things outside of instructional matters that are concerning to them, where they need support, whether or not it's mental health, in other areas of well-being, just so that their needs are met. So when it's time for instruction, that's not a hindrance.
Right. You talked about a second ago, and forgive me if you were breaking up or in and out on my end, but I believe how some of your social workers and whatnot are making home visits and visiting with students and that kind of thing.
Yes, that's something that we just started the first day of school, actually. And if you follow us on social media, you'll see pictures of us taking breakfast out on Monday mornings to students who had perfect attendance, students who've just been doing well, just to keep them motivated. Since the beginning of the school year, I think I've been to about 10 homes, and that's the most I have been in a long time. But it gives us opportunity to meet parents, to see students where they are.
Right.
Of course, we're just dropping off. We're not staying going into homes to visit, but just kind of outside the porch, dropping off breakfast, saying good morning, and stay motivated. We've been challenged by our district leadership to keep students motivated. Now, we know that this month of school is somewhat of a honeymoon. Students sometimes do their absolute best the first month going into September. But how do we keep that momentum going throughout the school year? So we're looking for things like this, the social worker visits, my visits, the breakfast drop-offs, things like that. They're going to keep our students going. It takes a village. It's not just going to be me and the social worker. It's going to be us, parents, folks like you who are putting out good information about our schools, who are going to help keep our students motivated all school year long.
when you are able to see students and meet their families, and not that you haven't met their families before, probably at school, but when you see them in their environment, like at their house, doing what they're normally doing around their family, how does that maybe change, or not change, but affect your approach in how you're teaching kids in this different situation here?
Well, it humanizes students, because a lot of times we see them around campus, just like when they see us around campus, they think we live here, and that's all I do is principal all day, and all I think of you is, student, to do your work. But you're a regular kid. You have to cut the grass. You have to do the things your parents tell you to do. And it gives us the opportunity to connect with them in ways that we wouldn't ordinarily connect. It's something that I'm looking forward to this year. And as a high school person, it's something that we traditionally not have done very much. But I'm looking forward to this year of interacting in that way. We won't be able to have the big parent meetings and open houses like we've done in the past. So getting a chance to see students as regular people in their own environment, doing regular kid things, it's really connected us.
All right, we'll be right back here on Awareness this morning in just a minute.
Raised by my grandparents in Orangeburg, I learned that character counts. Now, Lindsey Graham's attacking me for rising out of poverty, earning a scholarship to Yale, and working hard enough to give back to the community. What's happened to Lindsey Graham? In South Carolina, we expect senators to respect hard work and honor and protect the American dream, not tear it down. I'm running for U.S. Senate to fight for you, your family, and our state.
I'm Jamie Harrison, and I approve this message.
Hi, Joe Namath here, and like you, I'm at home staying safe, but I wanted to get this message out. To make these uncertain times a bit easier and safer while at home, Medicare Advantage plans have added new benefits, including telephone appointments with your doctors, in-home aids, home-delivered meals, home-delivered prescriptions, and so much more. But you don't get all the benefits automatically. You need to enroll. The easiest way to enroll is to call the Medicare Coverage Helpline. It's now more important than ever to make sure your Medicare coverage is up to date. We all have a few minutes to make a phone call to focus on our health. Get what you're entitled to. Call now. It's free.
Call 1-800-711-7200. That's 1-800-711-7200 now.
Boutique and designer labels at resale prices.
Welcome back this morning, talking with Nashunda Walters, the principal at Eau Claire High School in Richland 1 in Columbia. And Nashunda, talking about, of course, the brand new school year and how COVID-19 is affecting everything. And got a sobering just reminder recently here of, again, how real this virus is and how it can affect any and everyone, especially folks in our schools and our teachers, when we saw the passing of a teacher in the Richland 2 school district. Of course, that by now everyone across the Midlands, even beyond South Carolina, knows about that. When you heard that news, of course, you are a teacher, you are the principal, you oversee a lot of teachers, and you guys are in the middle of this thing. Just what did you think? How did that make you feel when you learned that tragic news?
I thought it was devastating. When a staff member passes away, it not only affects their own family, but it affects their school family, the children that they serve, the children that they were going to serve, the children that they're currently serving. So there's so many people that are affected by this loss. I don't know the young lady that passed away, but my heart goes out. My sympathy definitely goes out to her and the Richland 2 family, because the grief process right now is it's very different. We did have a teacher way back in May, and the process for providing services to students and to staff during that time was not definitely what we wanted, because there are no hugs, there are no opportunity in person, and the things that you would need to do as a staff and as a family to grieve together. So when I said devastating, it's hard to deal with a death that you're not able to properly grieve around, since you're not able to personalize the things that you would do to support the family, school family, children, and the young lady's family. So I think it's devastating. I'm praying for our entire body of teachers and educators that this doesn't happen to anybody else, and that we're all safe and not have to deal with another death of a staff member or anybody else around COVID.
And so that kind of brings me to the topic of precautions and safety measures that are in place at your school and other schools. But there at Eau Claire, tell me what you guys have in place that's new, that wasn't there before because of COVID-19, and how has the district been in providing you with whatever you need there?
I think our district and our state actually have been excellent in providing us with what we needed. We started planning early in the summer for what we would want to need. They started ordering products and ordering things for us very early, so that when the teachers arrived on the first day, on their first day was the 24th, we had Santa hand sanitizers ready for them. We had their PPE prepared for them. I think they got more than 5 cloth face masks apiece, water bottles for us to use in the building since the water fountains are no longer in use. We created a whole new mail system. There's not a teacher's lounge anymore, because those are all, and using the copy machines, those are all high touch areas. So we've had to make a lot of adjustments. But I think our district has done a great job with this restart plan in providing the resources that we needed at individual schools. But there's a lot of planning that we had to do over the summer to make sure things were in place when school started.
And so a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, I don't know what the number is, but there are certainly some people who are really advocating, including the governor and folks in state government, 5 days a week in-person learning at schools. And, I can tell you 19 districts in the state, there's only 19 that began the school year that way. So most are doing hybrid models or learning virtually. I guess, what are your thoughts on that? How soon would 5-day in-person learning be appropriate again, and how could that safely be done if we're still dealing with this pandemic?
I straddle the fence on this topic because I actually have a second grader, and he needs to be around other second graders. And so, but I also want him to be safe. I want my peers to be safe. I want my colleagues to be safe. As a high school principal, I come in contact with a lot of people all day when we're on a face-to-face schedule. So I want to be safe. And I don't think that coming back on campus before I ensure my safety and ensure the safety of my staff members and the children here is going to be the best idea for us, because I can't, if a student passes away, they're irreplaceable. If I pass away, of course, there'll be somebody else to have this job probably, but my family will miss me. And I think one of the reasons why I'm able to do this job is that, I have safety precautions. Like I showed you before, I have a plexiglass shield at my desk here, but I can't plexiglass my entire life in the hallway, walking around so I have concerns about safety. However, I do think it is important for students to get back to school and interaction, but not before we can safely do so. The sheer volume of the number of students that we have within Richland 1 and in Richland 2, class sizes are large, and you can't guarantee anyone's safety when you're in a large classroom, a large school, with lots of students moving around. And then the contact tracing that has to happen if you do have an exposure is even more difficult, especially around students like high school students who don't stay in the same place all day long. They're moving all over the building. They're going to restrooms, lockers independently. So that's something that has to be taken into consideration. How does that happen? You know, if there is an exposure, how do you contact trace a student who's been all over the building?
Yeah, a lot to certainly consider, and that's an ongoing debate right now, that is for sure. Ms. Shunda, thank you so much for your time this morning. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Fight the spread and take a stand against coronavirus. Wear a mask in public. Stay at least 6 feet apart from others. And get tested. Join us and fight the spread. Visit scdhec.gov/COVID-19.
You spend more than half your life in your home, and we believe you should always be comfortable. 35 years ago, we introduced homeowners to a whole new level of comfort with USA Premium Foam. Since 1985, we've insulated over 90,000 homes and saved thousands of families millions of dollars in energy costs. And with this hot weather, we want to help you now. So when we foam your walls, we'll insulate your attic for free. So stop sweating and start saving.
USA Insulation.
With Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Don't worry, help is on the way.
With any of Life Alert's 3 emergency systems, help can be summoned immediately, and batteries never need charging.
I was having a stroke, and I was scared to death.
If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
Life Alert is a lifesaver.
My husband is alive because of Life Alert.
Life Alert is the lifesaver to keep me out of assisted living.
Life Alert saves a life every 11 minutes.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-811-4221. That's 1-800-811-4221. Call now. 1-800-811-4221.
Getting tested for COVID-19 helps you to take the steps needed to protect yourself, your loved ones, and your community. Find a testing location at scdhec.gov/COVID-19 testing.
Thanks so much to Eau Claire High School Principal Shunda Walters for talking with me today. Hope you enjoyed the conversation and have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time here on Awareness.
You like a good deal, right?